Welcome, guys. We are live once again on a Sunday. My hair's in a mess, so I'm going to wear a cap today. Mike, if you don't mind.
I don't mind, welcome you guys. Good
Bobby
to have you
hair.
guys here again. Yeah,
Mm.
and Thana, turn that hat around.
I don't want.
Oh, you are in the wrong session, mate.
You know what? I've got all the because
I am all checked out.
we
Okay,
go for all
all
the
right.
events. So
Yep.
I got like Volvo, I got Ferrari, I got everything, but I don't have BMW. So BMW, you must call me in and give me some merchandise to wear.
Yeah.
So
For some
hi,
reason, yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
We got Gary here. Hi, Gary.
Yep. Hi,
Yeah, thank you,
Joe.
Gary. Mm.
Hi, Joe Win Eng. Yeah.
Mm. So
Thank you for joining us. Yeah.
yeah, it's an interesting one today.
Yep.
I'm probably the person with the least amount of real world experience with a 3 Series. I've driven some, owned some for a short period, but I want to learn
Yep.
more in session. So Gary Chin asked, "How's your drop the top, Thana?" I'll tell you after the intro. Let me just add who. Let me just get this started. Gunting boy, I need to remove you for a while. 1 second. We got Corn. Yes, hi Corn. How are you?
Hey, hi, Con.
How are you?
How are you,
And-
man? Oh, I see the nice 39s at the back there.
This is the banker life background.
Those guys are your chevron. Con, it's so funny. I think I did tell you, right, in the group, maybe about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Seriously, one of the mornings I actually woke up, I think it was 2, 3 a.m. in the morning. And all because you come and tell me, Mike, I turbo my E39, how to tune it. Now it's like, Con, is that you, Con? Adding a turbo into your E39. So is that a good dream or bad dream? I'm not sure.
I don't know. There are things I envision doing to these cars, but turbocharging is not one of them. I think the E39 is best experienced, best enjoyed. With
Yes.
an NA straight 6. The only upgrade, from performance standpoint, I could conceive actually would be an engine transplant to a bigger 6-cylinder.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah. Don't mess with that too much.
We're gonna invite our next guest for today. We got
Yep.
Zaf.
Oh, Mr. Luke. All the way.
This one is an honor to be in the same room with him, man.
No. This is all mine.
Okay. Guys, if you do not know, all right, this guy, he is a sort of like he's like a walking BMW encyclopedia.
Yes.
Slightly exaggerated.
He is the BMW Wiki in our.
Man. Yeah. No. He is the pre-2005 BMW Wiki.
Yep.
So he's the pre-OBD2 port BMW.
No. OBD2 God.
On the round table,
He just
Pleasure to be on here with you guys.
He just tries to bring OBD2 port technology to the older cars and mishmash of them. So we're gonna have a lot of fun.
Funny you said that. I'll share some stories on that later.
Okay, so let's get the show on started. I'm gonna start with our intro, and once we're back, we'll start the show about 3 Series, which I'm just excited to learn about.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, guys.
And we see a better picture of Conch E39 behind the scene there.
Yes, definitely. Maybe Zaf, you can, tell us how you got into this BMW thingy.
This
And
thing.
so
You mean
enthusiastic.
this disease?
Yes.
How I contracted this disease. I think it started, 10 years ago, I think, 10, 12 years ago, I remember. Yeah. My first car, it was an E30. At that time, it was really, I was just looking for a car. Well, I wasn't specifically looking for a BMW. I just wanted something a little fun, and most importantly, it should be cheap, because I was still a poor student then. So I came across this E30. It was a 318 IS. It's the slightly sportier. It was advertised for about $2.5 grand, I think. I went there, I saw the car. The car needed a little bit of work. So I negotiated my way through. I think it was like $2 grand. So I picked the car for $2 grand.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, but this is in Australia, right?
Yeah, this is in Australia. Yes, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So if you work it out, $2 grand is it's 6,000 ringgit. So yeah, the car was 6,000 ringgit. E30
Wow.
318 IS, twin cam 1.8 or 138 horsepower, if I remember correctly. Very peaky power delivery. It had no valves. It had no variable valve timing. I think it was just a honest 4-cylinder with twin cam. So the power would come on at about I think 3,500 onwards. Below that, it was just pretty dead. Off the line, Corollas would chop me off. They'll be much faster. So yeah, I had the car for a while. Probably used it for, I think, 2 years into my ownership, and I decided, back then you're a kid, and then you're like, one more power from this. I'm sick of Corollas going off the line faster than this car. It should be faster than that. So I did a bit of research, and found a guy who was trying to sell his 2.8 M52 from an E36. So yeah, the engine was.
That is what we call an ill-advised project.
It was an ill. If hindsight was 2020, I would have not done it. But then again, I don't regret doing it though. It was a good project. It was a very good learning experience. Did that. So I basically took the engine out, swap it in. That car became a monster after that. It was a 5-speed. Just imagine, it had 130 horsepower, and then with the new engine, it went from 138 to 110, something like that. And I think the horsepower figure is something, but it's actually the torque figures that really gets you. Factory, I think that 318 IS, the M42, that had about 170 or 180 Newton meters of torque at 4,500 RPM. It's quite high up the rev range. Yeah. With the M52, the 2.8, it made more torque than the M42 at peak, at idle. At 1,000 RPM, I think, or 1,500 RPM, it had like 210 or 220 Newton meters of torque. So that transformed the whole car. That just transformed the whole car. And that is when I started dwelling into them and started tinkering around with them. So that's how I got in.
Oh, okay. So that was on the E30, yeah?
Yes, it was an E30. In hindsight, I shouldn't have done it. Those cars are worth a lot of money these days. A good example here would probably be about 15, or I think 20 grand.
Yeah, especially the 318 IS, no, not the regular 318 IS.
Yes, I know.
Was that a 1990 model, Zaf?
Yes, it was. It was a 1990.
Oh.
Yes, it was 1990.
Yeah, that's the last already, of the E30 line. Yeah,
that's right.
Are you still keeping that IS engine crated somewhere? It's probably worth a bit of money now.
No, unfortunately not. The car is gone. When you're young and you are inexperienced, you do a lot of stupid things, and that's it. The car's gone.
But all of us have been there, right?
Yeah,
younger days.
I think so.
You know that there's a 3-liter M54 E30 going on sale at about 60,000 ringgit on Buddha.
Wow.
Wow. That car would be a monster. I can.
It would be. The M54 3.0 is.
Yeah. No. I mean, to me, I've done it. I think just personally, me, I think it might be a bit too much for the chassis. I've done them. Yeah. I find that too much power is not necessarily a good thing. I mean,
because the basic E30s maxed out with the 325 M20, and we know the M20 engines weren't like exactly high powered engines. I think they were doing what 150 thereabouts.
170 horsepower. 170 horsepower.
There you go. So I think you push beyond 180 or 200 in the horses in the standard 3 E30, right? It's going to upset the balance quite a bit.
Yes. Yeah, that was the next question I wanted to ask you. How was it at the Benz after that?
That was it was understeering quite a little bit because the car wasn't. I didn't really set the suspension up fully. That car was still running 4-cylinder shocks. It was understeering quite badly because of the geometry and everything.
Yeah.
So not fun. But it was very fast on the straight. I still remember this. I had one with a few friends and stuff. One of them had an Evo 5, I think was Evo 5 or 6. I think it was 6, or Tommy McMahon edition. Straight, I was behind the car. I could keep up. It was because the acceleration was just the car was so light, 1,100 kilos with power and torque. It was really fun. But not doing that again.
If you had to go back and pick a chassis for a project car, what would that be?
See, that's the thing. I don't know. I don't regret. I don't regret doing it.
Yeah, because that was like a journey. That was part of your journey in your That was part of your learning journey, right? It's a mistake in hindsight, but it was part of your learning journey.
Yep,
that's right. So like I said, I don't regret doing it, but
we got a question here.
I would not do it again.
We've got a question from Derek here. Between E36 and E46, what do you think is the difference between the drive and the upgrades?
And before you answer this, right, I just want to say something. I've always had this suspicion that the E46 was not a pure clean slate development, but a very intensive upgrade of the E36, because I know quite a few parts from the E46 are plug and play retrofittable to the E36. So
that's right. It is. Let's go back a little bit. The E30 to the E36, that's a clean sheet development. The E30 was a complete brand new platform. The E30 had trailing arms. It wasn't a multi-link independent. It was still independent. It's not a multi-link system. You still have trailing arm. So they spent a lot of R&D on the rear suspension. The front is still a McPherson. So basically, the first car that they did was actually on the Z1. If anyone remembers that, the Z1 was the first. They call it the ZXL. So from there they move on to the E36. So that's like going back to what you said. E36 and E46, they are just an evolution of E46, an evolution of the E36. So a lot of plug and play. So the brakes, even the suspension components, you can swap them. Most of them. I've a friend who used to. I think he did. I was there when he did it. E36. It was an E36 chassis. He had E36 struts and the kingpin.
Wow,
it works. Yes. It works, but the geometry was a bit off. He needed more tuning. But it works. So that kind of answers the question.
Yeah, because do you know that, right? I'll give you an example, right? the E46 330i brakes, right, is I think double the price of an E39 530i disc, front disc.
Oh,
Because those discs are sought after by both E36 and E46 owners as upgrades.
oh, you mean the
Yes, yes.
the half cut market? Is what you mean, or
Half cut, sure. Because you will definitely, I mean, you will need to you should get new pads and new discs, but a lot of us will source the caliper half cut
Yes.
one.
Yes, I know what you mean. The caliper carrier, that thing that
Yes.
holds onto.
And the disc.
Mm.
Yeah, usually you go to the 328 one.
Yeah, that's a popular upgrade. I actually have that disc, that 330, the 325 millimeter disc. I have it on my E36.
Yes.
It works well. It works well.
No regrets, man. That's an no regrets upgrade.
Very important upgrade for the 36.
From my lesson of having an E30 and with the next thing I've learned from all that is the first thing I would do is I will not touch the engine first. Suspension and brakes. Suspension and brakes. That's the most important part.
Yes. Get that sorted out first.
Yes.
Yeah.
We got Kian Tan says we'll call I run 330 brakes on my 325 as well. Yeah,
I know that car. That car.
Nice one, Ken.
Really sorted here. He's done a lot of work.
That is a properly sorted car, man.
Yes. More work went into it.
If I'm not mistaken, it's British Racing Green. I think he had it. Yeah.
Yep. Yes. Definitely. Yeah.
But question for Con here: where do you do the upgrades?
The doing the upgrades is sourcing the parts is the challenge.
Yes.
Because Gary here drives an E39 like me. So what we know is that 530i half cuts are drying up out there. You know, a lot of people are getting the things up to find. So the engine, the brakes are all right. They are all drying up already. The M Sport suspension kits are all like, you know, it's the thing about half cuts is this lah. It's a non-renewable resource. Yeah, non-renewable resource.
Yep.
So the important thing is find a caliper, and you know and just get new set of new discs and new pads.
Yes.
Yeah.
The important parts are your caliper carriers and the caliper itself. You know, these two things. Yeah. The rest is all plug and play. Yeah.
So normally in the show we normally do the first bit about cartoons of the day. So we have a particular car that we highlight, and today we are highlighting the F30. So I'll just bring it up here. So this is the car of the day. The car of the day is F30. Obviously, that is a BMW show on 3 Series, and yeah, it's a car that I believe Mike has done a lot of tunes on this car.
Yep.
Massive power we get after the tune. And what do you guys think of this car? I mean, obviously, Con, you are the man behind the BMW, you know, Ryzen. What's your F30?
It's definitely not as sporty as the E90, but I think as a day-to-day driver, the F30 is quite underrated.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's not something that you would tag corner with the kind of gusto compared to say the E46 or the E90.
Yep.
But you know, for day-to-day driving, point A to point B, dealing with your city driving and all right, the F30 I feel it's a very complete all-rounder. It's an easier car to live with on a day-to-day basis.
It is an easier car, and also I would like to say the chassis has a lot of potential. Actually, it's just from three off the production line, you jump into it, just very uninspiring. But if you start tinkering with it, I would be quite certain that it would outgrade and outperform the E90. It's just it needs a lot of work to fine tune that. There's massive amount of leeway to increase performance.
We've got a comment here from Wood. Wood says about the N20. Obviously, the facelift will probably solve that issue.
Yeah, the B48 engine solves that issue.
The B48. Yeah.
Yeah.
B48. Sorry.
The regarding the timing chain, right? It's the issue with the timing chain guide. It's a well documented fact. So if you buy any N20 engine car, whether it's the F30, the F10, X3, whatever, just change the timing chain guide as just assume that the timing chain guide is going to break and change it when you buy it.
Yes,
Okay.
that's right.
Okay. So the thing is that, as we know, we have Evo extended warranty. GMR is our partner, and they told me that the timing chain guide is not covered as a warranty. It's not a warranty coverage item under Evo extended. Yes. But the thing is that it's a well-known thing, it's like the M3 conrod bearings, the V10. It's a known thing, right? If you do your homework, you expect the thing to fail, and you attack the issue preventively, you are actually quite okay.
Yeah.
You're actually quite okay. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
definitely. I have to say, all BMW engines have they all have a kind of a Achilles heel, if you want to put it that way. Once you sort that out, it'll be problem free. It's usually just one part of it that is, I don't know why.
I think
up in the design.
Almost all German cars have got this false pretense that they are invisible. Talk about Audi, BMW. They always say like, I'm invisible. BMW will say like, oh, gearbox is lifetime gearbox. No, there's the gearbox filter and everything is fine. Or timing chain is lifetime. Because they're so sure of their engineering prowess. They'll say, yep, this is lifetime. But I think you must understand that also, like Asian driving or climates and how it affects. The way we go through jams is like unlike any other place in the world. And that's that just compounds it, and that's why I think just change it, like guys. And you mentioned only the guide is not under warranty, not the timing chain, correct?
Yes.
So
I've seen it in my shops. The other day, that one that came in 140,000 km. The guides broke. So we had to change the engine.
140,000 km. The fellow waited too long already.
Yeah.
Too long.
Waited too long for it.
80, 100, you should be looking at it already.
Yes.
That's about the same mileage as the conrod bearings.
Yeah,
Yes.
pretty much.
I mean, just earlier this week, I had a conversation with Ivan Kong, interviewing him about his ownership of the M3. I'm in the midst of editing that video. Basically, he also changed his conrod bearings at about 80 to 90,000 kilometers on his M3.
Yep.
And according to him, when they took out the conrod bearings, it's still the conrod bearings are fine. There's no signs of impending failure. It's fine. But the thing is that 6 out of 10 cars out there kena this issue at this so and so mileage. You just change it. 20,000 or 30,000 kilometers ahead of time. You are pretty all right. And my experience with BMWs is that, right, I have never faced a problem that I've never read about on the internet in either of my cars.
Yep.
Say again. Repeat the
I've never faced a problem in either of these two things here that I've not read about on the internet.
That's very true. That's the beautiful part of BMW ownership. It's a very big community out there, and everyone's throwing in all kinds of information, feedback, etc.
If you just want to learn how to fix something on these cars, YouTube is your best friend.
It's almost like a meme, like, or BMW timing chain, or BMW cooling, BMW. It's like almost a meme at this point.
Yeah,
plenty of it in the net, plenty.
Yeah.
Hang on, I've got some first-hand pictures. If you want to see, I'm going to look up on my phone.
Oh, nice.
Rod bearing issue. Hang on. It's -54.
Yeah.
I'll send it to.
Wood says F30 needs an S54.
Actually, coming back to the F30 suspension, the F30, actually the suspension, where I have gone coilovers with it, the ST KW coilovers on it. The car handles a lot better, and the ride, everything gets a very resolved,
But Mike, it's a different setup, right, between the pre-facelift and the post-facelift. I mean, KW
no, it's the same. They use the same because the platform is basically the same.
But I know for a fact that BMW like practically re-engineered the rear suspension for the LCI.
But it's the same when we install it. I think what they say re-engineered is
They added more
changed.
Retune it. They probably
Yes,
retune
they
it.
retune it. You know, the spring rates and the damping rates.
Yep.
But KW they have already sorted out. You know, so they didn't make any changes on it.
Yeah.
You know, so that's the good thing about it. Yeah. So yeah,
KY
it's a nice
Gun
car to
says
upgrade,
a comment which is I think quite important. Service the car, warm the engine.
KY Gun knows his shit. This guy
Yes.
he drives the most reliable M6 V10 in Malaysia.
in the country.
Country.
And he drives it hard.
Yeah, and if anybody knows their shit about the V10, this is the man.
Yes.
Nice.
And I think with all the S engine, right, the older generation one, a lot of people forget that these cars actually need the 10W60 oil, on the car.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let it warm up
100%.
properly before you really put your foot down on it. Yeah.
Correct.
And I have to say, it takes a long time to get that I mean, at least over here, it takes a long time because the viscosity is so thick. It doesn't warm up as fast as a 040 or a 530. It definitely doesn't warm. It takes way longer to warm up. So I think a lot of people just
and frankly, I've changed oils on these cars before, and the car sounds so different when you actually put back the proper oil into it.
But
So
Zach,
important.
all the M cars from I think E46, E39 onwards, they had their Teco has the orange light, right, to show when the engine's not fully warm up.
yes.
Right. So you just don't drive
Variable
past
red
the
line. They call it the variable red line.
Yeah.
So as the temperature gets warmer, the red line, the orange lights actually extinguishes itself. So it shows you where it should be. Yeah, but still, a lot of people use the water coolant temperature as a gauge. That's not very accurate. The more accurate one would be the oil temperature. It should be about 80 degrees. 80.
Yeah, those of us drive M5X engines, we don't have all temperature gauge one.
But again, you don't have
Those
issues.
of us without WS chassis numbers won't know what's an all temperature.
But you see, you don't have to because you do not have rod bearing issues. You don't suffer from them.
KY Gun says all any M cars have the all temperature gauge standard.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yep.
So we've got a question here in terms of diesel. Any of you have had diesel BM before in your life? What do you think about the E90 320D performance and maintenance? I know that people talk about that particular platform to be a great drifting beast because so much torque in the car, easy to drift in and out. But I also hear people talk about the fact the noise after a while does come and you can hear the diesel clatter. But yeah, other than that, I'm not really into the E90D. Mike, what about yourself?
So far, we never really experienced any big issues.
I never heard of any issue breakdowns.
It's
actually it's very reliable, as long as you take care of the oil and the coolant and all that, you change that periodically, Don't wait until it's
I mean, if you can't afford 6 cylinders in your E90, you should definitely go for the 320D.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because
be careful of the timing chain though. Timing chain issues.
But that's a standard. That's a issue across the N47 family.
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
N47, N20.
Yes.
N57 as well.
Yes. I mean, if you see in the internet, there's so much grumble about this, but the actual occurrence of it is really not that bad.
Yeah.
Obviously, like
not
5%
bad, but you don't want to be the 5% that's in that category.
Yes. I mean, I have customers' car, at 200,000 kilometers, still running on the original chains, on the diesels. Yeah. So far, so good. And it has been on the tune with me, 6 years, 7 years? Yeah. So, the car is still running.
In 2009, in 2009, when I first joined this industry, that was when BMW launched this E90 320D, the
Yep.
the E60 at 530D, the whole, all of that, right? So at that time, BMW Malaysia did a media drive. They flew us to Terengganu, and we drove the cars from Terengganu down to PD and then up to Penang. The aim of that drive was to complete the whole journey with one tank of fuel, which we narrowly missed. So I drove the 520D and the 320D. And my distinct impression was that great engine, but the ride was a little too harsh for my liking. And I was much younger at that time.
Yeah.
And
because that time, I guess it was the beginning of the run flat tires, And sport suspension.
And sport suspension, run flat tires wasn't a great combo.
Oh, E30.
That was Crispy's former car. That's Crispy's former car.
Yes. The 318.
That's a very pristine example of an E36 Cabrio.
Yep. Yes.
Very, very well kept example.
Yes.
That is very, very clean car.
So actually, BMW, when they started the 3 Series, they actually started this executive compact car. Back in 1975, amazing. That's
let's put it this way: this segment is still called the 3 Series segment.
Correct.
Yes. So the competitors are defined by this 3 Series.
It's the benchmark, I suppose. It's the benchmark.
But I guess that's the whole argument, isn't it? If you think about, they began the whole genre or the market, but at the same time, it was more of an affordable executive entry level. It's not a big one. It's not a big. It's a more sporty version. And then when you come to where it is not like the F30, it became a bit too comfortable. Correct? It became too comfortable, too nice. And then it became like, well, is this the mass market appeal kind of stuff? It's no longer. It's too popular. It's too popular, And then the purists will say like, everywhere I go, it's an F30. I can see what, So I had the same argument also because I love the F30, but So Zev had a question on Woodwood on Malaysian cars.
He was saying, do I have any cars in Malaysia? Yes, I do. I still have the 330i E46.
Nice. So that's your Malaysia car.
Con has seen that car.
Con, you're mute, Con.
Con, you're mute. Can't hear you.
Con, you're mute.
His car very atas spec one.
Really?
Atas spec. Very atas spec one. All of the rest of us, right? We have Auto Bavaria on our plate holder. He says cartridge. Here is old enough to remember the significance of cartridge.
So CPU punya. Tara sama. The number don't start with the P one, the chassis number. W punya.
Hey Zach, are you your car is it for sale? Because I could get you a buyer now. I'll get commission, isn't it?
Yikan wants to buy the car.
Yikan he got maintenance already.
You already pijak into pijot, cannot climb out already.
Yikan, make an offer, put money on the table.
Irresistible offer.
It's quite nice. It's a well, when I first got it, it was a 5-speed manual. It's a 6-speed, 5-speed auto. Sorry, it's a 6-speed manual now. I got really lucky. Half cut, I managed to find a gearbox that is original to the E46. It's quite hard to come by because apparently a lot of them they use the E90 and or 1 series ones, where it will fit, but you'll have to change, I believe, the clutch plate and the flywheel because the input shaft is different again.
The long shaft also, right?
Yes. I like Keen's comment. I have dips before I left.
Yikan says it's the only BMW I'll buy, nothing else because I trust Zev. Hey, start the bidding war, guys! Start the bidding war.
Horizon is more happy to host the bidding.
Yeah, now all the BMW guys are commenting here.
Start the bidding war.
So I guess if you go back to
Yes.
the start, you got the E21.
1975. Yeah.
What was it? Was it? I guess at the point in time, was it an executive car? Or was that the nature behind the car?
And that time only got 2 doors when they started.
Correct.
No
Yeah.
4 doors
Yeah.
on
Correct.
this E21. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to play a bit of a devil's advocate here.
Yep.
Did it really start with the E21?
Oh, it'll be the new class lah. It'll be
No,
the new
it
class.
was O2 back then.
Yeah,
The 222.
the new
Yes.
class. Is it?
That
Yes.
started. Yeah, that started
Correct.
The
everything.
new class.
Yes.
But I guess
Before they
that's
call it the 3 Series lah.
before I think they had a product and the product sold. Then they feel like I need to my product needs to be in a certain market so I can sell it. Oh, this is this category, and then made all these classes, and that's what we have now. You got the 3 Series.
Yes.
But really, like it's amazing brand name, like you talk
Amazing
about
lah, the
if
3 Series.
you talk about the BMW as a whole, I think
Yep.
the 3 Series has got the best branding power among all of the BMWs.
Very,
the 3
very
series,
important.
the 3 Series is where BMW always brings out their A game. It's just like Mercedes and the S Class. Mercedes always bring out their A game with the S Class. BMW always bring out their A game in the 3 Series.
Yep.
It's their signature. I guess that's what you call a signature dish to every. I think every chef has got their own signature
I can
dish, and this is
I
BMW.
can remember. I think maybe it was 1980. The E21. The car that can smash 120 miles per hour. The 323i back then.
Miles per hour. Wow.
Yes. Back in its day, that was the first car that executive compact car that smashed 120 miles per hour back then. Yeah.
And what you call it? And they had this thing where the headlights signify the number of cylinders under the hood.
Yes, that's right. The double headlights are the 6 cylinders, and the single ones are the 4.
Yeah.
It's.
I always say
like,
that.
you don't see this in Malaysia anymore, do we? Like, not
I
much.
think a lot of them rusted away already.
Yeah.
There are some for sale, quite cheap also, but very poor conditions. Very poor.
Those
conditions.
that are in relatively buy and drive conditions are asking for silly money.
Yeah.
I always say the tail of the E21 inspired the Iswara.
You
It
got a
looks
point.
like it.
You got a point.
Yes.
It does remind me of the first generation Iswara then, I think.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a Cabrio before, in
This
real
is
life.
as well.
You know that Bauer Cabrio was not really made by BMW.
Oh, really?
Oh, okay.
No.
It's made by the coach builder Bauer. I don't know how to pronounce it. Baur Bauer. So they did it they did this for the E30 as well, and they did a very weird,
The glass
Cabrio,
one.
fabric roof version of the E36 sedan.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
But that one
because
very
of,
odd. That one.
It's because of rollover protection, I believe. That's why
Yeah.
they had the Targa top,
yeah.
because and there was no
Basket handle.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Also
to me,
for a bit of rigidity lah.
But if you
Yes,
but if you
that's
could go
true.
back and start with E31, when do you think that BMW 3 Series became very masculine? When do you feel that for you like it became looking masculine? On?
I think it was definitely an evolution. The O2 series was the one I think that really got them underway. All right, the E21 was the one that moved the game along. But I think the one that really gave the 3 Series a big sort of like quantum leap, right? I think it's the E36. If you ask me, like, if I look back, I think it's probably the E36.
Yeah.
The E30 is the one that everybody loves today, right? But
Right.
if you look at it right properly, I think it's the E36 that really.
E36 was the most modern looking, like for
Correct.
as a
Correct.
jump. I mean, as a theoretical jump, the
Correct.
E36 felt the most of a modern.
Correct. The E36 was the biggest quantum leap in the whole range if you think of it.
Okay, we're gonna go back. Sorry.
I'm just going to add something in that comparison. It's quite interesting. If you look in Porsche's world, it's a bit like 993 to 996. It's a bit like that.
Second,
993 to 996.
You are right.
It
You're
is.
right.
Because
the engineering leap.
E30, E30 is like old and stuff.
Say like 986.
Yeah.
Part of the family. But it is that way. But and it's funny that I realized that like the 993 and 996, the 993 gets all the love. Everybody loves it.
Yes.
Just like the E30, everybody loves it. Whereas the E36 is a bit like the neglected one. It's very, very capable. It's very, very capable.
Yep.
People somehow still have like a stigma to it, like.
But it is still. But now the E36s are starting to appreciate. The 6-cylinder models are all starting to cost 20 grand again.
This is a very hot topic because why? I think you're right. It's the pinnacle when did they really shift lah. We're going to go to a quick commercial break now. When we come back, we're going to continue this very, very interesting topic. Obviously, today we are on Horizon hosting live, so we're going to do a commercial break to Evo Club Insurance, and then we'll come back shortly.
When I switched to Pro Mileage, in my case, I got 46-47% of savings for that car.
Pro Mileage was the only one that gave 5,000 extra value to cover, yet still cheaper, a lot less.
Turn up!
40 years, 6 generations, one feeling. Here's to the original sports sedan, BMW 3 Series. We only make one thing, the ultimate driving machine.
Wow. We only make one thing. The ultimate driving machine. That's all we make.
Yep.
It's like you say that. It's sad that they don't use that slogan anymore. I don't think it's ultimate driving machine anymore.
I think that is a bit diluted now, lah. Huh?
Yeah. That's right.
I like the way they said the original sports sedan, isn't it? That's what they said.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But coming back to the topic we had, we were talking about the E36 obviously. So before this, we had the E30, which obviously it's got more of an old school look to it, and it's very much capable. And then sorry, Con.
And because of Thomas, right, the prices of E30 has gone skyrocketing again.
And I agree with all of you guys about the E36. I think the E36 is the first modern 3 Series performance, interior, talking about build quality, about looks, styling, angular shape. Even today, if this car was sold today, I think it is. Look at the profile; it's just so beautiful. It's very modern, This could be
still very elegant.
I mean,
can I add something? You talk about the design of it's very funny here. You talk about the design of this car. It's actually designed by the same guy who did the 996.
Oh really?
Pinky Lie.
Pinky Lie.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I learned something
today. You know what's interesting though? I just realized that whenever I look at cars that I like, there is a correlation. Like I like the E60 because of Chris Bangle. People hate it, but I like it. And then I also like the Fiat Coupe. I like Chris Bangle again. So there's always a designer which breaks the mold, make it different. And I guess this is one of them because you're right. 996 so revolutionary, and this is one of the products from BMW.
So Pinky Lie actually did the design for this car. So it's quite a, I don't know, back in the day, probably polarizing. I'd imagine that's the word to use.
I mean, if you just imagine, right? You are used to you have the E30, right? You come from the E30, and you come to this. You come to the E36. It's like a big, a big leap, right?
Yes. And for me, the 36, the design of it, I like, where the seal of the car, it's like a side skirt, on the seal of the car.
He meant under the door.
Yes. Look at that. all the cars is straight, but
Straight,
they actually made the effort to.
And the E36 is the only
So
one
nice.
that carries yellow color nicely.
Yes,
It's the only
yes.
one that looks right in yellow.
And also the E36 coupe is so beautiful as well, actually. With the low slung roof, and
the roof is rigged
wood lid,
at a slightly
at the
different
back,
angle.
slightly different.
I mean,
Yeah,
if you think about the days of Countach being sharp and beautiful, this has those lines. I mean, even to the side indicator lights. If you see the indicator over here is empty, but on this side, on the E36, you have that small little thing there, that the sharp edge. Everything is at a corner, at an edge. All that lines, the back curve here, curve. I mean, it's rare to see a good condition E36 in Malaysia because painted and with new lights. But I can imagine when it came out brand new back then, how good it would look.
You know the problem with the E36, right? Is that for the longest time, this car was languishing in the sub 20,000, sub 15,000. You can buy a 318 for 8K, 9K, right? And a lot of these cars ended up in the hands of people who don't really know how to really take care of them. And a lot of them are bashed up in shit conditions.
Here's another fun fact. E36 is the only model where the M3 and the coupes, the M Sport coupe, say, has no. They are the same. They look the same. So you can actually dress up a coupe to look like an M3 because the body panels are not bespoke on the E30, E46, E92.
It's not wider.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is
There's
the
no
only,
bulges on the arches and all that.
There's no bulges on the arches.
Yes.
Yeah.
A question for you, Azaf. For you loving all these 3 series, which one that you enjoy driving the most?
I was afraid that you were going to ask that. It's like asking which is your favorite child.
Yes, I have to ask you that.
It's like asking which is your favorite child. How do you answer a question like that?
Correct.
Because you have you have an E46 330i in Malaysia.
Correct.
Yes. You have an E36. I'm not sure which E36 you have in
E36. It started as a 328 M Sport coupe. It's now a 330.
Yep.
and you have the E46 M3 also.
Yep.
So you are quite. That basically is your sweet spot, lah.
Yeah.
We
don't want to ask. We want to ask the M car, the non-M car.
Okay,
hey,
let's just put it this way. If you are really just for a pure driving experience, I would go as far to say that the E36 is the best in terms of pure driving experience, the way the car feels and the feedback that you get from it. And the E46, I would go as far as to say this. The E46 M3 is a very fast car. It's a very capable car. But I think that the feel that I get from the E36 tickles my heart a little bit more. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's just more. Yeah.
I find the E46 is more comfortable. That's the word I look for.
Yes.
I mean, it's like the first 3 series, which actually, when you say like executive sedan and comfort, it's like I remember driving the E46 back in 2005, 2006, and I could do highway roads and like, wow, this car is just nothing. It just cuts to highway like butter. And it's so comfortable, And
a quick comparison to this, I'm going to draw lines to the Porsche world again. The E36 is like a 996, whereas the E46 is a 997. It's a more rolled out and a more refined.
But inside they're all the same. But the issue, if we go with an analogy, it was all the same. But the fact was, people had polarizing opinions about the E36 and the 996, and had made it more. They had to cover the lines a bit, make it more smooth. The lines a bit for E46.
It's exactly like that. The 3 series.
How is it now?
Yes. I confer with you, Zaf, that because I actually like the drive of the 36 more. Even in comparison to my E92, the feedback it gives you is so much more better. Yeah.
The further back you go in history, the more feedback you get.
Yeah, the steering
That
feel
makes
and
the
all that.
E30 feels like a
Yes.
go-kart. I've jumped back to the E30 some time ago, and I just felt, wow, this is like a go-kart.
Yes.
You
I
don't
guess
really get
also-
any isolation. There's there's no comfort. You feel everything, but you get that driving kind of unadulterated driving feel, if that's the word to use.
But the thing is with the 36, when you jump back into it on a good condition one, right?
Yes.
It doesn't feel that old,
No, it
That's
doesn't.
the part
It
about
doesn't.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It does not.
Whereas the E30, when you jump back in,
Yeah.
it's an
It's a-
80s car.
E30
Correct.
classic. E30
Ah.
is
Everything just feels
the
a little
classic, yeah.
sloppy.
Yes.
Everything just feels a little less tight.
Correct.
The steering
Yes.
is like a bit
yeah,
vague.
Yes.
it's a classic car. You got to give it excuses like, yeah, but it has personality. Yeah, but it has this. Yeah, but
When you release the clutch and all that, okay lah, this
Yeah.
one really
Yeah,
older
yeah.
fella.
E36, I think you can really drive an E36
Yes,
pretty much like a modern car,
correct.
Yes.
right? Whereas E30, you have to drive it with the kind of concessions that you normally make for something with a bit of miles on the clock.
Yeah.
All I can say is,
Respect this fella a little bit lah,
yeah,
Don't
that's right. The E36 chassis
rough.
is
Yes.
very, very forgiving. It's
Yes.
very neutral. You can throw
Yes.
it around, and it's very, very forgiving. You make mistakes, but it'll still tell you it's okay. I'm just gonna slide a little bit out. It's
Yep.
fine. Everything is under control. Whereas
And- Yes.
the E46 gets a bit more abrupt. It's like the grip level is higher. I won't doubt that. The grip level, you can turn into the corner, carry more speed and everything, but it's a little less forgiving in that sense.
Yes.
Remember we did a
And-
show, Mike, with Ivan, and I asked
Yes.
Ivan what BM should I get if I want to learn drifting and stuff, and he said,
Yeah.
get the E36. That's what the idea was. Okay, he said
Yes.
it's going to be more direct. It's going to be you can learn more. And get that, So back to you, Zav. Sorry, back cut you short there.
Yep.
If I was going to go for an E36, and this is for me, not anybody in private, not theoretical. If I was to get an E36, and more of because I like cars to be powerful and current and able to be driven daily, not the person to look at repeat the stock and stuff,
Yep.
What would be the more economical way and yet powerful for you to go into having a E36 that's manual? And what engine would you put in there? Would you put like an N20 and a newer engine there, or do you go for an old school engine? And what gearbox? What do you think it's like? Underrated gearbox you can put in there.
If you're asking me for yourself, I'm going to do it for myself anyway. I'll answer your question. I will put an S54 in an E36.
Hey, that one overkill already. That one.
I forgot to ask you, how much is a S54 first in Malaysia
I
ringgit
saw that
terms?
going for about 30 engine and gearbox.
Yeah, right? Yes.
I thought I told you economical. I thought that was one I put in there.
Well, when you talk about power and engine swaps, that's like I don't think
But think about this. You talk about S54, but you put a newer BMW engine inside. You know what? Power to weight, how it delivers, it's going to be pretty high up there.
Okay, Thana.
36 is fine on the 36.
There is an S50 engine going for 19.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I saw that day, S50.
But I guess the question is the weight is there, isn't it? The bigger the engine, the heavier it is. The newer the engine, the lighter it is. And let's say you get like an engine from an F30 and you manage to show it inside and you take away, okay, I don't want air conditioning, I just make it bare stock and run it simple. I mean, would you think that that's a better performance option opposed to going the big engines option?
But Thana, the 36, the chassis can take that engine. It's not an issue. With the right
the price,
the thing is that when you put an F30 engine, which is turbocharged, the mountain of torque, right, would overwhelm the balance of the chassis one.
Yeah.
Yes.
The 36 is not meant to take that kind of abrupt power delivery.
And
The
also
rear
the sub
chassis.
will start tearing. You do suffer from that issue. From factory, if you put too much power on them, the subframe, basically the chassis where the the rear subframe or the differential cradle mounts up, they will start cracking and tearing because of I guess the sheet metal.
Half metal will well. So this one can't send this over. 95 325 original.
Hey, and this is gone up already. I think 2 years ago, right? No E36 would command this kind of pricing. No way.
Yep.
This is gone up already. But this looks like a very clean example, to be honest.
Well sorted one.
Actually, right, if you want for the E36, right, a 325 or 328 is to me, I think it's a very, very good starting point.
And
it's in the teens, lah.
I want to add into something before anybody buys all these cars. Please buy the most original example. I cannot stress this enough. If you bought a car that is highly modified or tinkered by somebody previously,
or one JZ or RB26,
you will be in for a lot of surprises when it comes to the wiring section. You'll be like, oh, this doesn't match up. Where does this go? And so the advice is this: if you were to buy a car like this, I would rather buy it from an old lady who had it for the last 20 years and it's in a tight condition where you know the bushes and everything needs to be done, suspension needs to be done. That's fine. You can do that really easily. You can just replace the parts. The car becomes brand new again. Whereas a car that has been haphazardly, modified, somebody's done something here, somebody's done something there.
How is
no
this?
record.
6,000.
This is
complete document.
This is this is craving for punishment.
Certificate problem.
This example is craving for punishment.
Let me read. Kita bilang kita sek kena jual. Full document. Kita berjalan. Certificate problem.
Jangan masuk ini lagi.
Ini jangan main, bro. Ini jangan main.
This is asking for trouble. This is asking for trouble.
Certificate problem. TRMOR start pecah. Tremor start pecah.
I wouldn't even want to click beyond this, man. But coming back to Zef's question about getting original examples, right? I would say this, like, if you get an example that is been tastefully fiddled by someone with Zef's level of expertise, then that's a car worth going for.
I don't know what that means, but I'm just gonna go with it.
Let's put it this way: if that car is tinkered with by someone who knows the shit, all right, who stands it done by correctly, then that is okay. Let's say, like, for example, that car comes with some funky, some 18-inch wheels that perhaps you don't quite like, but if it's something that that is there, that perhaps you can take out from the car and trade it with some other barang that's to your taste.
But what Con is trying to say, Zef, is buy a car that someone like Zef has spent a lot of money on, so you can benefit from it and enjoy the benefit of you wasting your money on the car. That's what Con meant,
But part of this kind of I can't stress enough. Do inspect the wiring thoroughly. Mechanical parts, I've learned, right? Mechanical parts, right, quite easy to keep in tip-top condition. Wiring is the one that you really need to keep a close eye on.
Again, let me
on the 36, on the 36, also another bugbear of it is the interior plastics. You try to get one which has the best interior.
That is correct. 36 racks are drying up already. I don't think you can find interior that is in good condition. So that is another point to look into.
Let me show you this ad here. 6 years ago, 9,800 ringgit. 328 running condition, new radiator, new battery, car runs a drive. Pretty good, right?
Not pristine, but drivable.
And engine looks clean, interior looks clean.
You want a car like this? Yes.
Wow. And it's 9.8. Guys, grab this.
Today, this kind of money, you'll be lucky to get a 318.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
The like Kian was saying right, 6 cylinders E36 are in good condition, are getting pretty hard to find, particularly manuals. Doesn't matter what transmission, a 6-cylinder E36 is just hard to find. Full stop.
Yeah, not a manual one either. Yeah.
Manual or auto, right, is
yes, very difficult. Yes.
Con, I mean buy this one.
Go for it, man.
Yeah.
Go for it, man. I'm not Bobby Ang. I will tell you.
No more project cars. No more project cars.
No.
No project cars. No. Stop.
No. I mean, the thing is that, right, going after project
your
cars,
DTT sorted first.
Yeah.
It's less about the money than it is the time.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Can you afford the time? Can you afford to spend the time to go back and forth to your mechanic to get the car done up?
Well, some people spend their time like this, as you can see there. One guy holding a engine in their back. In their backyard.
Let's get to Zaf. Okay, what project you are working on now, Zaf?
That was
Tell us about it. This one.
That was on the E30. This is the current engine that is in my E28 E36. So it's okay. It started off Okay, I'll go back to where this Okay, let's go back. The car that I had currently, the E36, I had it for a few years, and I noticed it was starting to consume oil.
Oh, wow.
That one's a bit premature. That's a different story. Story altogether.
Go back.
Okay.
Go back. Not this one, Thana. The previous one.
Okay.
This one. So the engine was when I got the car, it was already at about 206,000 Ks, and at that point it was fine. I drove it for a few years, and then it started to use oil, and one fine day, I think the heater hose gave way, and I think the temperature did climb past the center for a little bit. It didn't hit the rate, but it was enough to damage the head gasket. So it started consuming coolant, and I thought, you know what? If it's the case, time for a new engine. So I went to the wreckers, picked up a 2.8. I got lucky there. There was one for sale, and it was like I paid $150 for the engine.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, $150.
You have to do the work yourself, though. You have to do the work yourself. You pull the thing out from the wrecking yard. You have to.
You get $150 for an engine. That's like money I keep in my wallet. Nah, here, give me a.
But you got to take the engine out yourself. You got to go in the train and take it out. You got to unmental. It's a lot of work.
Thana, in Malaysia, even if you're ready to do that, you can't pick an engine with that kind of money, with groceries money. You know what I mean?
Well, you'll be surprised. I think so certain engines are not really in demand. Like in Malaysia, with the really small engines but on demand, they actually go for a quite very cheap price, So depends on what car it is. Yep. Sorry, that's going on.
Okay, yep. So what I did was I decided to rebuild it, and I was like, you know what? Why don't I do a little bit of extra, something special? So I found another engine, which is a burn engine. But all I need was just the crankshaft, the conrods, and the piston and the camshaft. So I transplanted that into the By the way, the BMW engines are like Lego as well. M54, M52, they kind of plug and play. So currently it's running a M54 3-liter crank, piston, and camshaft and conrods on the M52 block single Vanos from a dual Vanos engine.
Actually, did they change the block from the M52 to the M54?
Yes, they did. If you put the M54 M52 TU, actually M52 TU was the changeover point. The lines don't actually, the oil lines and the coolant lines touch up on the M52 single Vanos ones. It's like complete redesign.
So the M52 TU and M54 are the same block, right?
Yes, that's correct. Yes, M52 and M52 TU don't really have like any resemblance anymore. But the good thing is they kept the size of the bore and the spacings. I believe there was I think because the machine that they used to do the casting was going back all the way to the M20 days, which the bore spacing is, I think, 91 millimeter, if I'm not mistaken. So, for your information, the crankshaft of this 3 liter also fits, I think, on the M20. But the 2.8 M52 ones definitely fit the M20 as well. So there you go. So it's like Lego again, like Lego. So you basically just have your ingredients and you match it up. That's how it is.
So it's like building like baking a cake.
Yeah, it's pretty much baking a cake. You know the ingredients, you know the specifications, the tolerance, and you just do it.
So you get a bespoke ZAF built BMW engine.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say bespoke. People have done it. People have done it. So it's M52 B30. Well, that doesn't kind of exist, isn't it?
M52 B30 ZV.
Yes.
So apart from that, I did go a little crazy as well. Those headers that you see, that shiny ones like snakes, those were from S50 Euro headers. It was M3.
Yeah.
It's an M3 one. So what I did was I got the head to one of my good friends. He's a very good head porting guy. He opened up the intake port so it flows better. It matches up to the M3 headers.
But that 3 liter engine of yours, is it a single one-nose valve train or a double one-nose valve train?
It's a single one-nose valve train. It's a single one-nose valve train. So it uses but the thing is, it uses the double one-nose camshaft.
I think you got a very
works,
nice built engine, but in Perth,
having said that, having said that, though, I'm very happy with the build. I've driven the car. I've really enjoyed it. One day, I made the very bad mistake of driving a S54 engine car, and that just ruined me. Advice?
You shouldn't.
Word of advice: you should never, as they say, never covet your neighbor's wife. So never try and up engine. That is
if you don't cuba, you tak tahu mah. Yeah. If money is no object, right? I've always fancied an S54 built into one of my E39s.
Oh, I'm sure it would be nice. It would be very nice. It would be very, very fun.
Yeah. Actually, I tried it on the E34 before.
Huh? Wow. Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But I would think it's easier to build an S54 into an E34 than an E39 because of the electronic interface.
Electronics, yes. Yeah. Yes. But
I mean,
really. I actually, there was one fine night I couldn't sleep when I read it up on the internet, right? These guys in the US who did an S54 transplant in E39, look at the work they have been doing. They started 2 years ago and they're still doing it.
Yeah.
There's progress, but they are still doing it.
Yeah, but I don't think it's that difficult, I think maybe Zaf can do it, that one.
You have to. The first thing you need is the pinouts of all the ECU and whatever that the info. That
you need to get the wiring to interface.
Yeah, which you can readily get them quite easily now. I think I've seen a lot of people doing it in the States, even in Australia. They've got conversion kits, they call it. So what you do is you buy the wiring adapter. Sorry, that's what it is. You adapt the chassis wiring, and then the adapter would connect to the ECU wiring, DME wiring for the engine.
Or you can go for a standalone ECUs. I think the people who are using
you can do standalones,
but the people who are using I think Arduino project kits to build their own ECU. It's also a thing happening now.
That's happening now. Yeah,
happening now. So
Mike, can I just send the ECU for you to recode?
Can
recode that one, no problem.
I've gone down a slippery path looking at BMWs on this side of my screen. I think I should stop there.
Next thing we know there's one in your garage.
No, start driving and then you will get the poison.
Honestly, what I'm looking at now, I'm looking at an M4. I'll be honest, M4 convertible is one of the BM that I'm looking at of getting, but not MCO. No point. I can't drive it.
Thana,
Yeah.
If you're looking at the M4,
Yeah.
forget about the M4 lah.
Why?
Just go Porsche already lah.
So Porsche's
It's the same
Porsche.
thing lah.
He's got a
It's the
point.
same.
He's got a
Porsche's-
point. He's got a very valid point.
No, the Porsche is different category. This is the sedan
No,
category.
then you got 2 Porsches in the house.
Or a Panamera.
Then you can brag about it. 2 Boxsters at home.
Nah. to me, Porsches are meant to be 2 doors.
Yeah, 2 doors lah.
There you go, $2.
Drop the top Drop the
Yeah.
top and 2 doors.
Yeah. Ivan says once you go M, you won't know anything else.
And Ivan knows his shit. Okay,
Yes.
Ivan has driven his fair share of cars in life. He knows
Yep.
his shit.
I don't know. I mean, I've driven M cars and I've driven Porsches. I think Porsches are a bit on a different kind of level.
Mhm.
I
I
personally,
think
that's
I
my
think
personal
they're
opinion.
I think they're
It depends. I'm
different.
quite sure Porsche Macan probably won't give you
well,
the.
no, let's those. I'm sorry to say that we're not talking about those cars today.
let's not start.
No,
Let's not
we're not
start.
talking about SUVs.
The only one that is worth comparing to is probably the Boxsters, Cayman, and 911s.
The
I think
911s lah, 911s.
that's a real Porsche that is that.
So talking about real BMWs. So obviously, what do you think about the 218i?
I need to go toilet.
This one not worth talking about, lah. This is contentious, man.
No. On a more serious note, I guess.
Okay.
I guess.
We're talking about 3 series here. Don't bring up the 2.
Okay. We won't. Okay.
Wrong two.
I'm sorry. We shall not talk about the 2 series. On the 3 series again. The question I had was like 3 series began as this really ultimate driving machine. That's the whole mantra they were selling. We saw the commercial earlier, how it drove very well. At one point, they need to sell a car that's more for global appeal. So the car became a bit more soft, a bit more easy to drive. Do you think that BMW should kind of go back to the roots of making the 3 series more driver-centric and not have like the M? And I mean, the M's always be there, but I guess there are a lot more driver-centric 3 series out of the market because of this selling line. No? Should they keep it to the point?
I think they're trying to go that direction with the G20. Right?
Yeah.
I
think what Thana is trying to say is it's a bit like trying to get a more pure model, like something like a 318 IS, I think, along those lines, which kind of.
I mean, like, because there are so many lines, there's so many models in the 3 series.
It's true.
Should they go back to the roots and just offer? You got the M and maybe a couple of sprinkle about 3 series. That's it. Call it a day, and keep it a more niche market with the 3 series, or should they go on the path of keep reinventing?
What's happening nowadays is that nobody looks at the base model anymore. The Kosong spec cars doesn't sell anymore. Yeah. In the marketing terms, nobody wants to look at those cars. Not like in the past, when you drive a 316, nobody will laugh at you, But now, nobody wants a 316 actually.
But I guess you can also
one
argue
particular
that.
316 lah.
But I guess you can also argue. Okay. It's very
That one
meaning,
different.
The only 316 IV8.
Yes.
Funny you guys say that. I've actually seen 316i's with M Sport things and even those brakes, those Brembo. So the first thing that crossed my mind was these cars in the future will be very good parts donor.
Yeah. Except for one, the frozen grey 316 lah. The frozen grey. Yeah.
But I guess the 3 series also give birth to the 2s and the 4s.
Yes.
Think about it. They're trying to fit that, and then now there are no more numbers, I guess, to fill.
I don't know, man. I still don't really get the decision to branch the 3 series coupe out to the 4.
4, huh?
I don't get that decision, to be honest. I would rather they have kept it, as it was, because the 3 series coupe is a strong enough name on its own.
Yes, because if you remember the E30, even the 325 and all that, the coupe was the car.
Yes,
Three
it
series.
started off
Yeah.
as a coupe first.
And
then
actually, and the thing is that with the E30, right, they never
Yes.
called it the coupe. It was only the
Yeah.
2-door and the 4-door.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
The
True.
it was the E36 that they called it the sedan and the coupe and
Yep.
with the E36 they actually had a slightly different design,
Yes.
right,
Yes.
between the sedan and the coupe.
Yeah, because the parts are not interchangeable on the E36 sedans and coupes.
Correct.
The roof line is actually more slant on the coupe.
It's lower, right?
Even the
it's lower.
back windscreen,
Yeah.
all different.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even the tail light is
fenders on the
different.
side. Yeah, tail light is
Yeah.
different.
Yes.
The coupe,
Correct me
the
if I-
E36 coupe has wider tail lights.
Yep.
Yes. Correct me if I'm wrong, Zaf. Is the 325 did it came E30? Did it came in the 4-door version?
Yes,
I
it
don't
did.
think
It
so,
did.
right? Huh? It
It
did.
did.
Got
It did.
Oh, God.
325.
Okay.
Yes,
Yes. Yeah.
it's the M20 on that series. There is also, I'm not sure if you guys heard about this. There was the 325i was not the biggest displacement one. The biggest displacement one was actually, well, officially, there's two of them. One is a 2.7 ETA. It was an
325 ETA, yes.
325e, not I. And then in South Africa they actually did a 3.3i.
Oh, the 333i, yes.
Yes, that was an M30. That was a different engine altogether, but they just shoehorn it. And buyers of those cars is a very funny story. You have to choose, you want power steering or you want air conditioning. You can't have both. You only have to choose one.
Oh, okay. And then there was there a 2.7 something tricked my mind,
Yeah, the
Yes.
ETA that Zaf just now mentioned.
Yeah, 2.7.
325.
I think Alpina also produced a 2.7, right?
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Alpina's
The 2.7, yeah, Alpina did that. But the Alpina 2.7 and the 2.7 is very, very different. The crank might be the same, but the cams on the 2.5 is more for low end and low to mid torque. That's high.
I'm
That engine
surprised
doesn't rev up.
that day somebody shared with me, right? There's a 525 ETA on sale in Australia. I never knew the ETA made it to Australia.
Oh, we had some. I've seen a few. These days, I don't think they exist anymore because a lot of them were parted out for the crankshaft. A lot of performance on the 325i. So what they did is they the block and the crank from the ETA, they put the head of the 2.5, so that the 2.5 head flows much better than the ETA. The ETA is very restrictive for low to mid. It's for ETA is for the economy, so it's like a fuel saving version of it. So what they did was increase the capacity for more low end day-to-day city driving. You see.
Actually, that was a very, very interesting engine concept. They increased the displacement, but they lowered the rate line. The ETA engine only had a rate line about 4,005 or something like that. So it's basically like a diesel.
Yeah, that's for fuel efficient. For back in the day, fuel efficiency. These days we do it very differently now.
Yeah, Thana, that's for you, lah. I won't reply.
I think where I come from is, having driven Porsche, I still think that BMW has a unique driving characteristics. I think it's just different,
You've actually never had a BMW before, right, Thana?
I've driven one for like extended period of time. My brother-in-law's E36, but never owned one myself. E36 was there, and I in the house always someone with a BMW, and my wife when I want to buy the rental car, she was like, "Don't get a BMW." I say, "Why?" "Oh, so and so has a BMW, so you don't get BMW. If you buy it, it's like as if it's like he's got one, you're following him." And but look at the Audi, and that's why I got the Audi. And okay, let's look for the Audi now, and went to the Audi route. But yeah, I've always been a fan of BMW, and I just think that in Malaysia, BMWs that are powerful are a bit on the high side. Like an Audi, for example, you can get a performance Audi quite easily. Audi when they make a S, it's like, it's powerful enough. For BMW to really appreciate it, you got to get a big displacement on a big engine, and so I'm holding out for the right car for me, which I will definitely in the future.
Mike, you need to take him for a drive in the 335, man. You need to let him have some BMW.
Thana, come around tomorrow.
And if you want the older, slightly more refined one, Con, you have to take him around in your fleet.
39.
I'm holding out for M. I need to have an M in my life.
Go for it.
M for
Go
life.
for it, brah.
Go for
You
it,
won't regret
brother.
it. You won't regret it.
Talking about M. Oh, Gary says, can I join? Yes, Gary.
Of
Can
course.
join.
Lie.
So talking about that, I see an M engine here. Tell me what's the engine over here. I see on screen.
Whoosh.
Tell us about this, Zaf.
This is well, oops, sorry, 1 second, the laptop just closed on me.
Why, when you see this, you get so excited, Azaf. Unbelievable.
Okay, this one, this will be, I'm building this currently, M3. If everyone doesn't know, M3 has got some rod bearings. The rod bearings is not a myth. They do go on these things. So this one is the candidate to be swapped with the M3. So this one, just a standard S54. Well, plan is I'm going to go lightweight in on this one. I've already got a set of Carrillo rods and CP pistons on all. Hopefully next week or the week after, I hope they are here. So that's the engine that I've started taking apart. Currently at the machine shop. Once the piston and rods come, I will bring it to the machine shop for them to get the tolerances, the bore tolerances correct. They will sort of rebore the bore to match the pistons. And so this one should be going back in. Hopefully in a couple months' time.
Yep.
We lost your video feed, Jeff.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Give me a second. I have no idea what happened.
Start cam.
Start cam. Sorry,
Yep.
I might have pressed mute there. So and once the other engine comes out from the M3, maybe E36 M3 with S54.
Yeah, that would be nice. You just
that's
told
the
us
plan.
about it, and you're gonna do it, yeah.
Well, I think I have to because I don't think I'm gonna sell.
You know what I like, Zach, about BMW and 3 Series? People who they really want 3 Series and they want more reliability, they end up buying a Lexus, and then they always say BMW is the best lah. You know. Deep down they want a BMW, but they're not buying a Lexus.
I don't know. I have a short story to share. One of my friends, he got a Lexus recently. And it was IS250, and I have to say the ownership experience is not as pleasant as I thought it would be. It has a lot of issues. I don't know why. Maybe it's a fake example or whatever. But it's not as smooth sailing as everyone thinks it. He had some chain tensioning issues. One of the engineers did have issues with it, and things started rattling and stuff like that.
Oh damn!
So I mean, Toyota reliability. I guess.
Well, when HP was looking at
Con?
no, when HP was buying his Lexus, right? At time buy like what you call it out? drive luxury car, but maintenance like Vios.
And Gary's right, because I think a lot of us grew up with that branding. I think that BMW is our dream. I mean, every car guy out there, that's a brand that you aspire to get. And the 3 Series, I think, fits that sweet spot. Because you see a BMW, you don't very rare. You close your eye, you're like, I see a 5 Series, I see a 7 Series. They'll see a 3 Series first, and then they'll evolve into their own.
Funny story here. I for me, it wasn't. I never really wanted to get involved with this, but I am here now. I actually wanted a Porsche. That was my aspiration. A 911.
Con tells this. Con tells us what all the time. He said, like, if you ask any motoring media journalist, and all of them owns a BMW, and ask them, why do you own a BMW? Because we can't afford a Porsche.
No, this was Bobby's story. Bobby's story.
Said that, correct?
This is also true. This is yeah. You're still working on my way, Porsche. Yeah. This is true. This is true. But yeah, but when I was growing up, I always looked towards 911. I still had a lot of media and stuff on the 911. The BMW is just a freak or occurrence that happened, that just happened.
But Zaf, if money is no object, which 911 would you go for?
997 GT3.
Woo! Man's got a clear vision in his head, man.
Yep.
911 GT3. It has to be in white, the launch color.
Wow.
Okay.
So you got it nailed down to the color.
Which was subject? Mine was a 997.2 manual. Book, and it must be I don't want the 4-wheel version, not the 4S. So the non 4S is what I want.
The rear-wheel drive lah, basically.
The rear-wheel drive manual, in yellow, 997.2. So that is my perfect spec for the car.
Yeah,
but actually, I mean,
mine is also a 997 mine also, but 4.0 RS.
Honestly,
4.0 RS. Wow, that one.
Wow, I think I'm the one with the most modest of dreams, man.
Why?
I mean, I think for me, right, if I were to go the route of a sports car, I'd also look at a 911. But if you put me into a base Carrera, right, I'm also happy enough already. Man.
Yeah, I'm happy enough. But if you had to pick the particular pick for you, what will it be? GT3 or a bit high, I know. But if it's within the realm of the base spec plus minus here and there,
I think if you talk purely from a mechanical standpoint, right, I think I would go for a 997. It's just that 997 does not have the Targa configuration that I like. The 997 has the hatchback-like Targa, which I'm not particularly a fan of. I just have this liking for the for the basket handle Targa look, right? Which is only available in the OS 911s or the 991 onwards.
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, the ideal, the really ideal combo is not there, but purely from a mechanical standpoint, I'll go with 997 mechanicals. But
yes,
for form factor, for looks wise, right, I want one of those basket handle Targas.
Yeah,
just for the heck of it, yeah.
Yes, and the 911s, they make it so beautiful, with the Targas.
Oh yeah.
The car is just beautiful.
We got a comment here from Daniel. So BMW is the only sport-looking design E2000. Merc went to change their range of design to be sport look. BMW is more sporty. So if you think about year 2000, you had the E46 just coming out, I believe, correct?
E46, yes.
Just came out, and then you had the bean-shaped Mercedes C-Class, the
peanut eye. The peanut eye.
Yeah, correct.
And of the two, definitely the BMW was more sporty, And if you go back one generation, you had the E36, and you had the
202.
The 202. Even then the BMW was also the sporty looking. So I think throughout the generation, I mean, no offense to most owners, throughout the generation, even now, I think the BMW always has been the more sportier looking car. No doubt. You can't argue about that, Even the E90, which I don't really like the look of it, it is still sportier looking than the
But I think that the W204 was the first time that Mercedes had a C-Class that was competitive against the 3 Series.
Yes. And that particular version, I like the AMG model.
I mean,
the 6.2.
The point you made was the 204 was comparable, but it was not leaps and bounds better looking.
No, it was not. The 204, I think, was let down by the poor selection of engines. I mean, you had
Yes.
a 1.8 compressor at launch,
Yep.
and then
Yes.
suddenly, you have a big ass V6 like nothing.
Yep.
Yeah.
The
Was it
204,
3
I
liter
think
or 2.8? I think I remember on that one.
I can't remember, but you see, the 204, other than the 6.2 V8 AMG, there is
Yep.
no noteworthy engine. There's no noteworthy
that.
engine, right?
Yes.
Whereas with the E90, there was always the 323 and the 325 the inline six that was that was a nice engine to that we still talk about. But the 204 did not benefit from a memorable engine.
I'm going to get wet here, corner. The 190E, and I think that was the only time, in my opinion, that the Mercedes looked better compared to the BMW. The E30 to me was.
No,
I mean, I
you
prefer
wouldn't
the
get
190E.
because your point is legit.
Yeah, on the 190E for me look better. I know people say, "Oh, E30 is the best." I'm going like, I see E30 like, yeah, it's okay, like classic looking. I like the E36 more than the E30 personally. From
I think
Yep.
the 190E
Yeah,
to me is
I-
better looking than the
It's
E30.
quite a lot of debate lah. Yeah.
The
Um,
E30, I think the nicest one would be, well, it's to me naturally of the M3 Sport Evo, that with a wider, wind and spoiler.
I agree. The 190E, the build quality is miles ahead lah. If you
Yes.
compare it to
Yes.
the
yes,
E30.
the 190E as an
Yes.
the 190E as an engineering project was definitely
Yeah,
superior
was
to
superior.
the
It's definitely way superior. I've driven those.
Yeah.
Very, very smooth riding. Very, very good. Well built.
Yes.
The car is very, very comfortable and isolated.
a much higher level of sophistication.
Yes, it's correct.
Definitely. Yeah.
You got a
But
comment
when
from
you,
Ivan here.
but when you drive them, it is probably nicer to drive because of the more driver centric.
But I mean, the E30 perhaps is better in subjective qualities. Like driver feel. That's an art that BMW has, mastered better than Mercedes. Definitely.
Yeah,
So,
agreed.
but I was watching a video that day. It says that at the end of the day, the 190E was engineered a few years after the E30.
Correct.
So they had a later starting point, and the 190E benefited from having access to more
and
advanced.
190E was designed to win races. It was designed for racing in mind versus the E30. So Ivan Kong says 204 was targeting the 3 Series as a driver's car. They campaigned to shout out about that, but failed horribly. So yeah, I think the 3 Series just still holds supreme, definitely. And then we've got E36.
I want again, but this is new to me actually.
Yeah, this is new to me too.
BMW was on the brink of bankruptcy at that time.
I guess at the point in time, if you think about it, all the car manufacturers, I mean, you talk about Porsche was almost a bankruptcy. They made the 986 and they came back. You talk about Boxster. You talk about BMW. So each car in the year 2000, the financial crisis of 1997, they're trying to get out of it. So I think all car manufacturers had some way of struggling times.
But actually, Ivan's point here, right? Ivan's point here that then the journey from the E36 to E46 made a lot of sense because then it means that the E36 was the car that they gave out at that time because that's the best they can do, and the E46 was the one where they polished all the rough, where they took the thing and refined it as best as they can, polish all the rough figures, and here's it.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's very evident when you drive back to back. You'll feel that the E46 is definitely more finished product, whereas the E36 feels a bit more raw. That's good and bad. It depends on what you want.
Yeah.
If you are after an enthusiastic driver's experience, definitely the E36. E46 is a very capable car.
Correct.
It's funny though. Well, it's not that funny actually. E90. If you jump from an E46 to an E90, I think that the distance is even bigger. You would feel that the car actually feels very, very. The first that I got when I jumped to an E90 was the car is actually more playful. It allows you to take more liberty with it with the new multi-link suspension. Where the E46 still has a little bit of a scarier element to it.
Yeah,
Mm.
playful rear end.
Yeah, the 90 is definitely very forgiving. You could do stupid with it and you could still control it really, easily.
Mm.
Yep. Mm.
That's
It gives
what
you a
I
lot of
found.
warning before it does it.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
rear end.
it does. It's I could definitely carry more speed. In middle of the corner versus entering the corner versus in an E46 where things start getting really hairy.
Yeah. But you feel the weight, the weight of the E90
Yeah, that's the other thing.
versus 46. The 46 is a lot livelier. With the E90, you do feel the weight of the car.
Yeah, it's very
E90
fun.
you have to.
Yes. And
Have-
also, in the early stages of the development of the run flat tires and the M Sport
Yeah.
suspension, the car just
Mm.
rides horribly, actually.
Oh yeah,
Especially
the
if
M
you're
Sport on
90.
those were pretty hardcore. I have to say, the M Sport
Yes.
things were very stiff.
Yes. Even
You're
the
talking about
E60,
E90, right?
even the E60 was crazy, the car
Oh.
really rides very stiff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to agree because recently last year on the Z4 I replaced the original M Sport suspension with a B12 kit from Bilstein.
Yep.
It had Ibach springs, and the ride quality was way miles ahead better than the M Sport suspension. But I did notice that the car rolled a bit more though, because previously you could chuck it around the corner. The car's is very stiff, but with the Ibach one, it tends to roll a little bit more. I think it's a compromise, I suppose. But it shows BMW of that period, I think mid 2000 onwards, very stiff M Sport.
Yeah. The ones just before, like the E39 generation, the M Sport suspension is still a fine balance. See, like my 520i here, I convert the suspension to full M Sport setup, right? There's still that pliancy in the ride that you don't get in the newer generation cars.
That's right.
Yes.
That's definitely true.
I think the cars after 2010, the ride all became harder and knobbly.
No, I think they softened it back for the F10, F30 generation.
Yes,
But
they most definitely did.
The other direction, it ran really back.
Yeah. Then with the G20, they went the other direction again.
Yeah,
correct.
Really stiff.
When I drove the 330i M Sport, I was like, wow, this feels more like a successor to the E90 than the F30.
Yes, 100%.
No, the ride of that car. Wow.
Yeah.
My only complaint of the G20, your G20, is the steering feel. There's really there is nothing on the wheel that doesn't communicate. That's the only down. It's definitely a nicer driving car than an F30.
That's the electric for us, electric steering for us. Yeah.
Somehow BMW never managed to recapture the steering feel when they go electric power steering.
Which is unfortunate, in a way.
We got a comment from Ivan, which I didn't know about. M Sport kit makes up 90% of the market.
Yes.
Especially in the 3 Series segment. When when BMW launched the 3 Series long wheelbase in Malaysia, right? So they launched the 330 Li M Sport. So I asked them, the 330 Li obviously is being targeted as a chauffeur-driven car. So why do you want M Sport, right? M Sport should be with the short wheelbase car, and then your long wheelbase car should be a more stately luxury spec car. But they say that it doesn't matter. The PR firm told me at that segment, they all want their car to look like M Sport. How it rides versus how it handles is a separate thing altogether. But it has to look the part, it has to have the M Sport punya look,
Having said that, can I say this? In Malaysia, would that mean that the BMW M badge has the biggest market in Malaysia?
Oh yeah.
Maybe.
Because when you go Teh Tarik, right, with all the car guys, they will say, "Oh, my 3 Series is M Sport one," They will specify that.
I prefer to keep my M Sportness under the skin.
Agree.
Yeah, even my 3 Series, I won't even mention it, but people would like to say,
on my E36, it's been the badge, no badge at the end, at the back, nothing. Not even
To me, if I have an M car, that's a sign of achievement. It's like, okay, I made it.
Yeah.
Don't care
But
about
hang on. That's not really an M car though. You can call it an M car when the
not the M Sport Kit. I'm talking about an M car. I mean,
to me,
to me, it's an M car. To me, it's not an M Sport Kit. Like, okay, fine. To me, it's like saying Audi S line and whatever. So to me, it's like a M car. You know, if you've got an M car, then I made it. Everything else is like, yeah, I've dressed it up, but M car.
One simple to identify. You go ask them, is your VIN number WBS?
Yeah. No,
Open the door.
I'm not
Yep,
sure.
go on.
On the registration card, right? Because on my 335 it says that M Sport. So I do not know whether those other cars that are sold in Malaysia, whether they specify that or not.
Your car is a UK unit, is it? Or...
mine is a UK unit. And when I saw the registration card, I got a bit of a shock. I said, hey, how can they put even M Sport there?
The thing with the E90 generation, right? The red, when you put in the reg card, it specifically mentioned E90 in the reg card one. It all depends on, I think, of how on what happens when the manufacturer submitted their type approval documents to JPJ.
Yeah. From what I know, I think because of loan applications, they enter the highest spec car to get that branding, and sometimes it could be an aftermarket and pocket also. You never know, Truth be told, I said also only M Sport, but truth be revealed when you step inside. Yep, right.
Yes.
Yeah.
The easiest way to tell is the VIN. You just look at the VIN number. If it is a WBS, that's it. M car. No contest.
The X, I think like the X5M, X6M, they're all made in US, right?
Yes. Spartan.
They would be a different. They would be
South Carolina.
Right.
No,
it would be a different. It wouldn't be a WBS win, right?
I think it's still a WBS.
The ZZ, I think it's Germany. I think. Correct?
All the Z4, all the Z4s.
The Z4s
is
for Germany.
made in Z3, Z4s, all made in Spartanburg, South Carolina, and US. They all carry the WB as well.
The country code is the back one. I think the ZZZ is the country code. It's a different number.
It has to. It cannot be W. Because WB will be means Germany.
Yeah, but the cars are still the cars from that plant are still maybe the really early Z3s maybe, but from a stage onward, all of them were WB. I can confirm that with the Z4
but I think
that I've got.
is the ZZZ, which Thana was saying.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. The ZZZ.
Z is for Germany.
Yeah, made in Germany. Yeah.
So we're coming to the end of our show very quickly. Thank you, Zeph, for joining us. We got an article here from Road and Track. I thought it would be just fine for us to go through the article. So this was the 7 best BMW series of all time, and I just sort of go through those 7, what they think they are, and what do you think of them. The 7th being the last spot is the E21 BMW 323i. Would you buy one? I guess that's the way to start this. Would you buy one? It won't be cheap, by the way.
No. Probably not. Probably. I have to say I'm not a big fan of the E21. I've driven them and they feel a little bit underwhelming. That's what I get from them. So I'll go with a pass. Look, it's still a great car.
Yeah.
It's still a great
car. I would love to drive one, but no, to buy, no.
So moving on, we got the E36 M3. I would love this. This would be fantastic.
So hang on a second. When you talk about this, you have to be very specific though, because the Americans never really got the full fat version.
Yes. Yes.
They actually got the ripped off version. Well, I wouldn't call it ripped.
Yep.
But the engine that they got was not really an Autosport engine. What they got was just a souped up.
Correct. I think they're saying that 240 in US stream and 316 in European stream.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a big downgrade, man.
Huge.
The US engines are basically just a 3-liter version of the M50 with a slightly more aggressive camshaft duration and timing. the same with the later ones, which is a 3.2 from an M52. They call it S52 engine, but that's basically just another M52 with a bigger bore and stroke, slightly more aggressive camshaft. So yeah, the power roundabout is about 240 sounds about right. Because when I did mine, which is very similar to what I was trying to create, I got about 250, 260 as well. So
on the US stream.
On the US stream.
So
So if you got
his own M engine. Nice.
I wouldn't call it an M engine.
So moving on, number 5, we've got the E90 T35i. So this one is Mike. Yeah, must comment lah.
This is
the photo version of Mike's car.
Yeah.
This one is a
the real. This is the E90, not the E.
I did consider getting an E90 once upon a time.
Yep.
Yeah. So this is something I totally do. I would totally consider. I totally consider this.
Yeah, I think
it's a very good daily.
Yes, it's a very good daily, and I think it's a very good GT cruiser, lah. But it's not an M car, lah. That's for sure.
No.
Yeah.
These are basically, of all the 3 series, M car or not, what would be the 7 best cars according to Road and Track magazine. And yeah, it's amazing they actually put the E90 235 in that list of top 7.
Yes, and this car is plenty quick.
Well, if the E21 323 makes it here, this car definitely deserves a spot.
I think that's more. Yes,
agree with you, Con.
Yes, more. Just I think nostalgic reasons, like
Yeah.
Moving on, we got E30 325i. Obviously, you can't forget the E30.
This is a good car.
I don't know. To me, it's a good car, but I think I wouldn't get one. To me, it's still older.
Here's an interesting debate about the E30. There's a school of thought that says that the E30 feels better with a 4-cylinder engine. The 6-cylinder engine, because the M20 engine it's a bit of a lazy engine, so it doesn't give the E30 that lively character that the 4-cylinder engine does.
Yes.
I'm just going to stop you there a little bit, Con. If you've tried a Alpina Vettel engine, you would.
You don't Alpina. You just talk about the standard one. This is a standard, M20 engine ketam, no. Single cam engine,
Yeah.
Alpina boleh lah.
But
I mean, Alpina. If you put Alpina, that one, all bets are off already. That one,
anything Alpina,
already. That one.
That was actually funny. You mentioned that. That was also one of the reasons why I did my engine swap, because of that. I've driven an Alpina 2.7. It was a convertible, and I was mind blown. It was wow. It was just wow. On an E30.
Yeah, but I do agree with you, lah, Con, on that. With the engine ketam and then the 4-cylinder.
Because as we know, Thomas has a 318i, and he said that when he tried a friend's 325, right, somehow he still prefers the character of the 318, because the 318 is a bit more rev happy, even though the 318 also is a single cam engine, but it's a more rev happy character.
That's definitely true. Then he will really like the M42 on the IS. Then that very rev happy.
That's why Zaf, I asked you, do you still have that IS engine or not? Because that engine is worth a pretty penny now.
Unfortunately, no. That thing is long gone.
That engine in the E30 is beautiful.
Yes. It's you know what? In hindsight, right? It's the most balanced E30.
Correct.
Yeah.
It is the most balanced.
You have to work
E30.
the engine to get the car really flying.
Yes. Yeah. Well, when you are young and stupid, you don't think of those things. All you want is to go fast.
But I always wondered, the E30, right? If only they had it with the M50 engine, even for a short run of time.
No, that did not happen.
No.
You can find that a lot in Malaysia, I believe. I've seen it.
Of course, M50, M52, M54 transplants into the E30 are pretty common.
Very, very common.
Yes.
Okay. Moving on, we have number 3. So this is the top 3 now.
This is a no-brainer, this one.
This is
our friend here already put money on.
I'm sorry. Why is it number 3? Why is it number 3? That I find it a bit insulting now.
Yeah, it's a bit insulting. Correct.
Go to the next one. We go to the next one.
And well,
Okay,
I think
90.
I think the V8 thing and all that. So they want to have a
I would rearrange the order. I would put the
Yeah.
6 first and then
Mm.
this second.
yeah.
That's me
I would
anyway.
yeah. In fact, you're right because the number one I think is 114, and I disagree with the number one. But you
If
know
it's
what?
an F30, I tell you, I'm not. They've lost their credibility. I'm sorry.
F82.
Oh, okay, no.
Yeah.
This is more iconic, I guess. The most iconic M3 is the
Yeah.
E30, so they put it there.
I don't know though. I mean, I've never driven one. I've sat in one. I've never driven one. I can't say that I've driven one. I've never driven one. I've sat in one, and I don't know. I feel that it's a very balanced car. I would put the E36 over that, to be honest. E36 M3 or the European spec ones. The European spec ones.
I guess it was a point in time where it broke out and the mass hysteria about the M cars, and I think that's why it has a unique place in time. Like, no, definitely.
I think the E30 M3 is more nostalgic value than anything else.
The prices of them are ridiculous now. I think they were like $80,000 US.
Okay,
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, come to the.
I mean, this car has its place in automotive history, but it's can't justify the money that's being asked for.
So now we've gone to the 7 now, and I flip across. Who will pick what? And I get Mike, our host here, to pick what. So Mike, off the 7 here, which one will you pick? I know the 7 is forget it.
Are you like trying to do Thana, are you trying to do like an expanded where's my car?
No, this is all good cars. You can pick any car. Nothing is wrong.
This
I
was
think
the
it's good.
question I wanted to ask Zaf first, actually, but you go and ask me first. What are you?
what car will you pick of these list here? So E36, M3 you have. You got the E90 335i, which you probably are very well aware. E30 325. You got the E46 M3. And
how come they didn't put
M3.
any of the new generation cars inside?
Don't know, lah. I must ask them. I'll talk to them. This is from 2013, that's me. It's an old article. 2013, that's why.
Okay. But actually, I'm quite fortunate. I have driven the E30 M3 before. I'm really, really very lucky. I have driven that before.
What are your thoughts on it? I would be
okay. Actually, after all the hype about this particular car, so I think the last time I drove it was about 5 years ago, and it was a well-sorted car. And a bit underwhelming, in the sense, because
I thought so.
because the way the engine reacts and all that, it's not as fast as you think it is to today's standards,
No, it's not.
But the way the car reacts to you and all that is still very nice, But at the end, it still feels a bit underwhelming for me, with all the hype.
I think it's because of the hype.
Yes, because of the hype. And I have also driven the 36 before, but a converted one, not actually an M3, but a converted one, where all the suspension beats and the engine and all that was put in as well, and also a 46 as well, and also the E92, all the M's, and the last 46 which I've driven, for some reason, the steering feel, has lost some of that steering feel, which I remembered maybe the last one I've driven 5 or 6 years ago. The steering was a lot better. So I do not know whether it was a suspension beats or what. But
it could be wear and tear, no?
Could be wear and tear.
So Mike, I think I know the answer to that. It's the steering coupler. It's the steering coupler. It's made of rubber.
So. Yes.
It's made of rubber, and because it's so close to the exhaust heat would actually degrade the coupler, and it will sort of wear it out, and it will just become soggy and
okay.
You get a dead kind of a dead zone. I get what you mean on that. Even on my M3, the first thing I did to my car was I did a rack swap.
The
purple tag. Yes, the purple tag one onto it, and it's way better. The way the car the rack is actually slightly faster as well. And the best part is there's no more dead zone in the middle of the rack.
Oh, nice. So I got to
Zaf,
go tell that owner lah. Then I got to go and tell that owner of
What's
that
your pick,
particular
Mike?
car. Okay, my pick is still the 46 lah. End of the day,
Wow.
I pick the 46. Why? Because of the how well balanced it is. You still can use it almost like a daily, and then it's I can still control the car lah. Let's put it this way. And the car talks to me lah. So
Yeah.
and then the close second is actually the 92 lah. But the 92
Yeah.
is because the reason is the 92 is because of the weight. I don't like the weight, and I don't have the driving skill of 1316i owner.
funny version that
Yes,
owner
about-
says
Yes.
he says he ranked the E92 M3 over the E46 M3 due to the V8 Symphony and the stability it offers.
Yes, I agree with that. But
That's
I don't have the
very
balls-
valid.
Yes,
That's
but
very
I don't
valid,
have
that's
the
very true.
balls to drive it at that 1010, which he can drive the car at.
Yeah.
That's where the V8 actually sinks. Only
Yeah,
I can
yeah.
drive it in a straight line, but through the corners, no lah.
Actually the V8 is actually amazingly right for such a
Yes.
big engine small car. Right? It's amazingly well balanced around the bends. That car.
Yes.
Amazingly well balanced.
I have
Well,
to
Colin-
up my driving ability, to come up to the E92 level lah.
Con, here's the fun fact, Con. I'm not sure if you know this.
Yes.
The V8, the S65, actually
Yes.
weighs the same, if
Yes.
not actually less than the
Yep.
46 M3's
Oh,
S65.
wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because the S65 is aluminium alloy, whereas the
Correct.
S54 is a cast iron block. So the weights were very,
Ah.
very close. The weights were very, very close.
Yes.
I think it's a matter of putting on the ancillaries. I think if you put the ancillary on, maybe the S54 was just a hair lighter. But without the ancillaries, I think the S65 was probably a hair lighter as well. So yeah.
And I think because the 92 series, the limits are a lot higher.
Oh, way higher.
Yeah. When you
Yeah.
carry the speed through the bends, it's so much higher. Yeah. That's why I say need to up my driving ability to the 92 level lah.
Yeah.
Definitely agree.
Fully exploit the car lah.
Yeah.
Ah.
The E92 has higher limits for you to explore.
Yes.
Yes, 100%.
So what's your
to
pick,
my
Con?
driving ability is 46 lah.
Actually,
your
for me,
pick, Con?
it really is between the E46 and the E90 M3. I had a fortune of having. I've not driven the E46, but I've read a lot of great things about it. I've driven the E92 M3 on Sepang track, and I was absolutely blown away by the experience, because the first thing that caught my mind was, wow, this is a big engine 3 series, and it feels so nimble around the bends.
Yep.
Smooth driving and all that. You imagine, right, a car that size, the V8, to be a bit nose heavy, but it does not feel that way.
Yep.
So that was one of my more memorable drives around Sepang, the E92 M3. But I think for my skill set, I'd probably be able to push the E46 harder than I would dare with the E90. So I think I will go for E46 also.
That's funny.
What about you, Thana?
Have we covered Zaf? Zaf, what do you?
Well, you go
take?
ahead first.
I'll go last.
I'll do
Ah,
last.
Zaf,
Okay,
obviously,
fine.
E46 man.
I like things that are not common, and the E46 purely because I remember they came out, the lights. I think that's when we had the E39 lights coming out and E46 lights coming out. So those lights to me is very BMW-ish,
Iconic. I think it's the iconic.
very iconic eagle eyes for BM.
Hey, but the
Also-
E46 never had the eagle eyes,
Yes,
The-
it was
yeah.
Yeah, that was
aftermarket
the
retrofit.
39.
Aftermarket. Yeah, but yeah, so the look is one thing that always catches my attention. I've driven some for an extended period of time. I love the way it drive, and also I think the fact that they took a chance and went to this design, and its only downfall is the fact that it sold a lot. It sold a lot with the fact that it's so common and some people didn't like it. But to me, E46 is one of the better looking, non-modern 3 Series, as well as it's just at the tip of modern. Everything else beyond that,
modern
it's
classic
raw.
is the word, I believe. Modern classic.
Because E36 is what I'll buy if, let's say, I want something that's more raw to drive. But the minimum modern car will be this, And so for me, the sweet spot is this. This is the sweet spot for me. The E46.
I think personally, I think the E90 V8. I think that is probably the best V8 BMW ever made.
Yes.
It's as much as I am a fan of the E39 M5, right, I think the E90 V8 is it's a more glorious engine than compared.
Definitely, because I'm fortunate enough to drive the M5 before, so not the E39.
It's more of a GT, the M5.
The engine doesn't rev as happy like the E92 engine.
I think
no way.
I mean, to be honest, BMW does not have many great V8s in its history, but the M3 V8, that's definitely one of them. That's easily their best V8 ever, I think.
Agreed.
It's more of you're right, Con, because like their V8 and BMW has got this thing, and this is the only one which they're like very rare. There's a big issue with it. But
the E92 M3 also, the steering it feels lighter than my 335. That's how they program it from the factory. More direct.
It's amazing. We did a whole talk about BMWs, and we didn't do anything about the way BMW drivers drive. And there's one comment here, which I'm not going to entertain because BMW guys are the best. Okay, guys, I hope you guys enjoy this show. It's been 2 hours. Amazingly, we've gone for 2 hours on a Sunday. Thank you for joining us. I'm sure right now our Prime Minister is giving a speech somewhere talking about our country's direction. I'm not sure what the direction is, but I'm keen to find out. Before we head off, Zaf, any final words?
Pleasure for being able to join you guys. Really enjoyed this session. It's really
me too. Feelings mutual.
It's really amazing. When I'm back. Yep.
Go for a drive.
Definitely.
Looking forward for you to come back. You, man.
That's definitely a given. Definitely we'll catch up with you guys all. It's been really great. I mean, I really enjoy this session. It's really fun.
Yeah, we will.
That's the word. Yeah.
We will have you back at some point again.
Pleasure is mine.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. So as always, we are live every Sunday at 4:00 on Sundays, and part of the bigger Horizon family. Our shows running throughout the week. We've got a show tomorrow. We've got Con and Bobby, and I think I'm joining tomorrow.
Yeah, you are coming. Yeah, with us. Yes.
So I'm coming on that show on Monday. On Tuesday, we got Chris Wee with Chris Cross.
No, Chris is taking a break this week.
Oh, Chris taking a break this week. Okay. On Wednesday, we got Alex Tamrock in his live concert, and we also have got the guys HP, Rachel, Apple coming on board for the Mandarin speaking session. Do a live session. They get people to join in. It's a fun session. If you can speak Chinese, go ahead and join there. On Thursday, I'll be coming on live with Talk to Thana Thursday. I'm still thinking of a name. I haven't figured that out yet. Should I call it Thana Thursday or Talk Thursday? Let me know what you think.
I would call it Thana Thursday with
I'd say Thana Thursday.
Thana Thursday. Okay, so and we're talking to someone from the VW gang. We got Mark Go joining us.
Oh, nice.
Okay,
nice.
And on Friday we are back with Thomas with Top Gear. It's always fun when we play Dude, Where's My Car with Thomas.
Oh, my favorite game, man.
And then we are back again for another week. Only day of the week we take a break is on Saturday. I don't know why, but maybe we should spill a spot. If you think we should spill a spot on Saturday, let us know what time, what day we meet or something. Con, anything else before we get off?
No. You said all that's in my mind already. just everybody, just take care, guys, and stay safe out there. Right? It's still quite bad out there.
Yeah.
So if you haven't get vaccinated, please do so quickly. That's like right now our only way out of this mess.
Mike, up to you.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for joining us again, guys. Every Sunday, we like to have fun here and, catch up with you guys next week. You guys stay safe. We are open, and if you guys want us to come and pick up your car, let us know. We will come and pick it up and tune it for you. Yeah. And
Actually, pickup is much better, right, Mike?
Yes. We'll come and pick up your car, we'll sanitize it, and then take it back to our shop. I'd like to thank Con, for coming on board.
Pleasure's mine. Pleasure's mine, especially when you're such an esteemed guest.
No. Thank you very much for joining us. Yeah. And Zaf. Yeah.
Pleasure's
Thank
mine.
you for coming on board. Take care.
Pleasure's mine.
Yeah.
Yep. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you for coming on board. Yeah.
Okay.
Pleasure.
Bye, guys.
See you next week.
See ya.
Bye. Bye, guys.